Welcome to Tales from Collector's Paradise, featuring yours truly, Big Stevie Pump. Guys, you're not going to want to miss today's show. Let's take a look here. Look at this. Ultimate Mr. T and Ultimate Hulk Hogan. Next on Tales from Collector's Paradise. Tales from Collector's Paradise, hosted by yours truly, Big Stevie Pump. Hey guys, Big Stevie Pump here. And you know what? Welcome back to Tales from Collector's Paradise. And I know it's been a little while. Big Stevie Pump's sort of been in hibernation, but I've now made my reemergence into the social media world, folks. That's right. You can follow me on Whatnot. I'll be doing live auctions on there. I'm still on Instagram. You got YouTube. Don't forget to hit that like button and the subscribe button. Don't forget to give me a follow on Instagram and Whatnot. You know, guys, we're getting things going. I know I keep saying this, and it's been slow going, but we're getting it going, folks. We're getting it going. So today, we've got these Ultimate Hulk Hogan and Mr. T figures, and I'm super excited to get my grubby little hands on them. So anyway, guys, stick around. We're going to have some fun. We're going to open these figures up. I'm going to show them to you. They're just, they've been hitting the market now for the last few weeks, so hopefully you've been able to see them in your area. They've been showing up at Target. I think they've been on Amazon, so, there's a few places you can get them. But anyway, so you know what, guys? Let's go ahead and get to it. And you may notice I'm wearing my Hulkamania shirt. But you know what? We're going to go ahead and start with Mr. T first. Let's get Mr. T up here and take a look at him in all of his packaged glory. Check it out. He comes with the gold chain. That accessory, was packaged before with the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, an extra head. You got the Hulkamania hat. You got the robe going on here. We're getting a lot of glare off that ring light, folks. We've updated the lighting here in BSPN Studios. You got the Hulkamania real cloth shirt. You got the this little flex bar or whatever to how you do that to crank up your biceps. I can't think of the technical name for it. Somebody comment, call Big Stevie Pump out on the technical name of that little bar, that little flex bar or whatever. Anyway, that was big back in the day. There was even a Saturday Night Live skit about it. This is, of course, Michael Jackson was real popular at the time, and he had like Hulk Hogan and Mr. T on there as his bodyguards, and they just kept kind of doing that and like beating people up and stuff. It was hilarious. I don't know if you get a chance, check it out. I'm sure you can find it on YouTube or Peacock or somewhere, Anyway, for an old Saturday Night Live like on Peacock. But let's get back to Mr. T here at the task at hand. At the task at hand, so to speak. We're going to go ahead and flip this packaging around so you can get a good little look-see here at Mr. T. And then we're going to get them opened up here shortly. And there you can see he's got Piper here. Pretty cool the way they did that with like the action figure up top. And then like the real picture down below. And like I said, man, that ring light, dude, I tell you what, it's giving some glare. We're trying to upgrade the lighting here. So let's go ahead now and take a look at Hulkamania, brother. So we got Hogan now. Now look at this. He comes with 2 extra heads. So already, Mr. T getting slighted a little bit there. Shame on you, Mattel, for only giving 1 extra head with Mr. T. But you got the same red Hulkamania shirt. You got an extra couple of set of hands. Actually, 3 sets of hands, it looks like. Then you got the Hogan figure itself, the championship belt. And we'll get into these faces more here a little bit when we get them open. But I love the big eyes, like when he used to do the big eye look back in the day, when he would point, you or whatever. So, and then he's got the classic headband here. I'll probably swap it off to not quite the bug eyes, the other look there. I'll probably swap the head. I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll figure it out once we get them opened up a little bit. And look at Hulk there, man. Early, young Hulk. Pretty cool, pretty cool, pretty cool. And then you got the poses on the back. We're really going to have to work with that ring light there to, see if we can get some good visuals without keep picking up the ring light. Anyway, I'm pretty stoked about these. So, folks, stick around next. We're going to open them up and get my grubby little hands on Hulk Hogan and Mr. T Ultimate from Mattel. Now, folks, it's been a little while, but don't think that I forgot about the good old buck. 382-1, and we're going to go ahead Give you a Big Stevie Pump guarantee on that. I haven't forgot about the good old Buck 382-1. Folks, we're going to pull out all the tricks, all the stops. We're going to try to get back to, Tales from Collector's Paradise the way that I originally imagined it. We're going to try to get some things going. I don't know. I appreciate all you guys, tuning in and following me and liking and subscribing. It's been a slow charge to 300, coined by my main man, the real JC, part of the BroSack, hashtag Pump Squad, hashtag BroSack, hashtag just keep grinding. That's what you got to do, Big Stevie Pump. So, since we got the good old Buck 382-1 out, let's go ahead and get a couple of cuts on the pieces of tape here. Look at this, folks. Let's get up real close and personal. Look at that right there. Boom. That right there is a tape cut if I ever saw one before. Run on down the seam. Boom. There's another one. We got one across the bottom there. Uh-oh, boom, that one was a little bit stubborn. All right, we got it open. And while we got the Buck 382-1 out, we might as well go ahead and hit the Hogan real quick. Boom. We got one up there. We got one down the side. Boom. And then we got one at the bottom here. Boom. What does it say? With the power of Hulkamania and the electricity of millions of screaming Hulkamaniacs on his side, there's nothing in the world that can take down the Hulkster, brother. So what you gonna do when Hulk Hogan and his 24-inch pythons run wild on you? And it actually says all that right there. That's pretty cool. What does Mr. T say? I didn't even point that out earlier. Let's put the buck away before somebody gets cut. Uh-oh, Mr. T got a little story behind him. Let's see what it says here. Mr. T doesn't have any time for jibber-jabber. At the first Wrestlemania, he put a little star power into his knockout punches when he teamed with Hulk Hogan in the main event. He showed Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff why he pities the fool who steps in the ring with Mr. T. That's right, folks. Pity the fool. All right, let's go ahead and get them open and check them out live and in person and up close and personal-like. All right, so real quick, I thought we would get a look here at the figures with their accessories. So here you can see the Hogan, and the extra heads, and the shirt, the extra hands, and the championship belt there. Pretty cool. We're going to get into this Hogan in a minute. I'm a little irritated, but we'll get into that in a second. Here's Mr. T. And here's his accessories. You got the extra head, the Hulkamania shirt, the chains, the little flex bar, for lack of a better term, the extra hands, the little Hulkamania hat, and the robe. So there's both of the figures. Now let's just get them up and close to the camera and take a look. All right, and we're back. And we're going to start with Mr. T here. So let's go ahead and get Mr. T up here. And so, you got the necklace here. So the first thing you'll notice about the Ultimates is the torso bend. And I actually really like that, which of course the AEW figures, that's the kind of torso bend they already have. Now the other thing you'll notice is the butterfly joint shoulders. So you can, crank them on back there. So pretty cool. And that's the thing with these Ultimates, you should pretty much, be able to do any move you want to do. And so, you got the bicep swivel, you got up top here at the shoulder, you got the butterfly shoulder like I've already showed before. You got the elbow, the double jointed elbow, so you can really make their arm twist. And then you've got the hand, swivel there, and it'll bend forward, bend back. So you got all that going on. Now they twist at the waist. Like I said, once again, we'll hit the torso bend. The neck, you can look down, you can look up. He's got a decent range of mobility. I mean, he can't like really look up, but he can look up pretty decent there. And of course, the other side's the same. And you get down to the legs. So you got the bend there. You got the thigh swivel. And you can easily tell that with the stripes on T's pants there. Then at his knee, you got a double jointed knees. And you got right here, you got at the calf, you've got the twist. And at the ankle, you've got, he's pretty stiff because I hadn't ever messed with these. But anyway, they do. Well, I'll try the other one. And it also has this little toe flex. And all the early elites had that little toe flex. And then Mattel cut that out quite some time ago, many, many years ago. They cut that out. Let's see. And I'm having trouble getting ankles to flex, but they flex a little bit, and then they do the side-to-side motion. So it's like I said, the elites had a lot of this articulation to begin with, and then they started doing away with some of it as they cheapened out. But anyway, not a bad figure. I really, I like the Mr. T. See if we can't get him lined up there. The stripes may be a little off on the paint job. It's not too well. It's not perfect, folks. It's not perfect. Those people in China, they must have been taking it easy that day. That side looks pretty good. Anyway, so all in all, a pretty good figure. I like this Mr. T. It's cool. I'll put his garb on him and we'll take a look at him here. Probably at the end. I'm gonna get the Hogan and we'll just look at him in the raw form, and then we'll fix him up and see what's happening. Hang tight for Hogan. All right, so the Hulkster. Now, you can maybe hear a little disappointment or disgust in my voice. Now, we don't necessarily have to go through all the same, pose abilities as we did with the T. But the Hogan here, let's go ahead and get that torso swivel. But the waist swivel, I'm pretty sure I pointed that out, but we'll point it out on Hogan if I didn't. I love this figure. I love the tan. Like, this is like this is how he should look like in, some of the earlier Hogan's, just, the defining moments Hogan is just not as tan as the way this is. This is just a pretty awesome figure, to be honest with you. Now, my disappointment is this. So if you'll notice here on my Hogan, there's a paint smudge right there on his face. Irritated on that one. The camera will pick it up. And this headband actually will come off, which I kind of didn't think that it would. But what do you know? Here's a big paint smudge on his forehead. And it's like, I really like this head sculpt. And when I realized that the headband would come off, I thought it was kind of molded into place. So that's why I was talking about using one of the other heads. And I mean, I may be able to get that off. I kind of tried to take my nail and get it, flick it a little bit, and it wasn't happening. So I may have to get some non-acetone, nail polish remover. That stuff works great, folks. Now, usually I'll start with alcohol. Okay, and rubbing alcohol like 91%. I'll start with that, and usually that gets most everything. Sometimes not. So then you may have to go with a non-acetone nail polish remover, and you want to be real careful with that stuff. But you just get it, and it usually gets it away. Then if that don't work, you have to pull out the heavy hitter, the acetone. The problem with the acetone is it will take off anything. So if it touches any of this other part, if you slip, you're going to screw it up. So that's why you got to be very careful with the acetone. So I don't necessarily recommend it. But man, am I disappointed with that on his head and his cheek. So I may have to use one of the other heads. I mean, the people in China were really taking it easy on that day. And I should have done a better job. But I mean, you could not see the way he was in the package. You could not see that, on the top of his head. And of course, the way you got to look at him on the side to see that cheek, and the way he was in the package, you just literally couldn't tell that. You could not tell those two spots. I had my choice to pick from several, and, I picked this one. And of course, that's just how it goes. But Mattel, you're charging $33 for these figures. Shame on you, first off, for charging $33 for these figures, because that's ridiculous. You don't have to charge that. Look at the McFarlane figures, folks. They're sticking strong at $20, and it's a much bigger figure. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think they're as good. I don't think the articulation's as good and all that, but that's another story for another day. But if we're talking about the amount of plastic, and all that, it's kind of like McFarlane can hold steady at $20. Mattel's got, gone up to, $23 to $25 on their regular elites, and, $33 to $35 on their ultimates. And it's just not necessary. I mean, I get it. You're shipping them, whatever. I don't know. Folks, they're just gouging. That's what they're really doing. I mean, don't let them fool you. I mean, they're putting out some cool figures, but if you're charging me $33, I need a pretty, darn near flawless figure, and that's not what we've got here. That's just not what we've got. But anyway, shame on you, Mattel. Shame on you, Hasbro, for price gouging all these people. You got the Hasbro, you got Star Wars Black Series, you got Joe's. I mean, I don't really collect Transformers, so I don't know what, how that stacks up. Maybe some of you can comment down in the comment section down below. And while you're doing that, don't forget to hit that like button and the subscribe, because we're charging to 300 there. I'm KOing some stuff behind me there. But anyway, folks, let me put these clothes on, and we'll on these figures. And Big Stevie Pump's got some clothes on. Hulkamania shirt, you might have noticed. We'll go ahead and get these, suited up a little bit, and then we'll take a look at them and see what they look like with their clothes on. All right, hang tight, folks. All right, folks, and we're back. So here's the Mr. T in his garb here. And one thing I should have pointed out earlier, you may notice that it's got the blue laces and the red laces. So pretty cool, like how it was back in the day. And I really like on the shirt, they have the vents, cut out in the back the way they were now. And we'll show the front of it a little bit better with the Hogan. But so there's the Mr. T with this like weird hat and everything. I'm not really sure how I feel about the hat. I definitely like him better without it. And of course you can see the flex bar that he can flex there. But let's get this hat off of him. I did swap him to the more of a, I don't really know, it's quite of a smiling face. It's more of a snarl. I guess he's like kind of, looking kind of a little bit angry there, Mr. T. Anyway, we're going to get that hat off of him. So let's take a look here at the Hogan. So a quick shame on you, a couple of them. I mean, it's like, I love these figures. I really do. But they could have been better. And once again, so the shirt, it's just, I just don't get why you gotta put the Velcro in the front. I know why, because you're wanting to stand there posing with the shirt being ripped. Let's do something crazy, Mattel. Maybe you could give me 2 shirts. That would be just, $33. You could probably throw in an extra shirt because you threw in a cloth robe with T and a shirt. So you probably could have given me an extra shirt, one like this where he can like rip it or whatever, and then one where it just looks good. Notice how seamless, pardon the pun, my shirt is, no seam right down the middle, Hulkamania. However, this Hulkamania shirt's got a seam running all the way down the middle. But, notice this head, no paint sculpts, or no paint smudges or anything. So this may be the head I go with. I don't know. I'm going to try to clean that other one up because I kind of like it better. But if you'll notice here on the belt, I have it in the very last buckle. You can't even get both of those snaps in there. Like, how are you going to package a belt with Hogan? And Hogan is kind of bulky. He's a bulky dude. And make it to where the belt don't even fit him. Like, what are you doing, Mattel? Like, Bill McKenna, come on, man. Where's a little quality control? Like, you're supposed to be really proud of this line, and you should be. For the most part, you got a lot of really awesome stuff going on. You got a lot of great licenses. You got a lot of awesome figures. And hey, don't get me wrong. This is the #1 toy line, I think, 12 years running, man. Ever since 2010 when they got it, all the way up to 2022 where we're at now. They're like the #1 toy line, male action figures, every year. And you're going to do crap like that. It's just embarrassing, Mattel. You should be ashamed of yourself. You got WWE, you got Hot Wheels, and you got Barbie. That's what you're living off of. And He-Man. Well, we won't get into He-Man. But anyway, that's what you're living off of, those 3 main licenses. And you can't even really deliver the product the way that it should be delivered. It's just, I don't know. It's pretty bad, folks. It's like, I'm happy, and I was super stoked to get these figures, and I am still super stoked to get these figures, and they're going to look awesome standing on my shelf, and you can't tell that the belt doesn't fasten good from the front. You can still tell that, see the seam down the front, and the same with those paint blotches, but, I just got an unlucky draw on that. This belt is just a manufacturing flaw. That's just that's just them being pathetic. Just using the same exact black strap and putting different plates on it is what that is. They're like, it don't matter. They're probably not going to put it on him anyway. Well, of course we're going to put it on him. But it is what it is, folks. So, that's the deal. I like the figures. I should almost love them. I do love them, but I could love them more if y'all would just tighten up a little bit, Mattel. Just tighten up. And I would love it if Bill McKenna or anybody at Mattel that any kind of power would see this, and maybe one day they will see one of Big Stevie Pump's videos. But anyway, that's pretty much the wrap on those. Let me know what you think about it in the comments, what you think about the belt, what you think about the seam down the front of the shirt, what the flex thing's called. Go ahead and hit me up with some comments, folks, and don't forget to subscribe, and all that good stuff. And don't forget to check me out on Whatnot. Give me a follow over there. Check me out on Instagram. Give me a follow over there. We're getting the ball back rolling, folks. Anyway, this has been Big Stevie Pump with Tales from Collector's Paradise. Big Stevie Pump, out! Tales from Collector's Paradise, hosted by yours truly, Big Stevie Pump. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. That we got to get a good shot with Big Stevie Pump and Mr. T. You know, we got to have a little fun, folks. We got to have a little fun. Anyway, really, you know, I do like these figures. I do love them. I'm super stoked to have them. I had to get that gold jewelry off of T and the hat off of him. The gold jewelry might have been all right, but I wanted to get a look at them, you know, like this. Anyway, folks, once again, thanks for joining me. Take care. Just keep grinding.